draw a line in the sand. So in 2007, this renewable energy law was passed, and Dominion is filling it with, not with wind and solar, like we would hope that they would. They're basically continuing on with business as usual, burning fossil fuels. And so we're here today to really draw a line in the sand and start a big effort to make sure that Dominion starts to fill renewable energy standard with wind and solar, and that, you know, our decision makers make sure that that happens. So one thing I did want to mention before we get started is that we are releasing some poll results today. So we did some polling and found that 63% of Virginians would like Dominion and other utilities to be filling their renewable energy law with wind and solar, which is not what we're doing. So that's one thing I wanted to mention. That's an piece of information. And we're going to get started with the speakers. My name is Beth Miller. I'm the Virginia State Director for Chesapeake Climate Action Network. And we're going to have some speakers, and we'll be doing a picket over by the Dominion building, so doing some petitions to Dominion. So we are going to first get started with Kate Adelson. Recently married, so we got the last name for laying there, with the Virginia Start. Good afternoon. Can everyone hear me okay? A little bit louder? Is that good? Great. Okay. Well, I just want to thank everybody for being here. Thank all of the folks who have come out today. This is an extremely important issue, and we are thrilled to be able to be here with folks from the Richmond area as well as other parts of the state to really stand up to Dominion today. We're here because Dominion is ripping off customers and really abusing the state policies that have been set by collecting $76 million so far, $38 million annually in the name of renewable energy. Dominion has been awarded this bonus for meeting Virginia's renewable portfolio standard despite bringing zero new wind or solar to the state of Virginia. And they're keeping Virginians locked into dirty fossil fuel power, and we're here to say enough is enough. The majority of renewable energy that Dominion has used to meet its renewable portfolio goal has thus far been generated out of state or through facilities that were already in operation. Dominion needs to do its part and earn this bonus by investing in solar and wind energy that will cut pollution and create jobs here in the state of Virginia, in Dominion's home state. Dominion got $76 million. Instead of new, large-scale, clean, renewable energy, Virginians are getting increased polluted air and water, extreme weather disasters, our Appalachian mountains are continuing to be blown apart, lands exposed to under-regulated hydrofracking, rising sea levels, and economically we're getting left behind by neighboring states and countries who are investing in clean energy to increase their job growth and competitiveness. This week, Dominion customers and citizens from across the Commonwealth of Virginia are coming together and standing up to this ripoff and the abuse of our renewable portfolio standard in Virginia. We're demanding renewable energy that will decrease the need for dirty fossil fuel generation. This week, we're going to be sending hundreds of petitions to Dominion Power, specifically to CEO and leader Tom Farrell, to demand real clean energy in Virginia. These petitions will total 3,000 this week, and the movement is growing. Virginians really want clean energy. They know that this needs to be a priority in our state, and that's why we're getting together this week to make sure that Dominion knows that their customers, their shareholders, and the public are demanding clean energy for public health and to decrease pollution's effects on our communities. The quality of our air and water in the state directly translates to the quality of life of our families and prosperity and well-being of our communities. As long as we continue to expand our reliance on burning fossil fuels for electricity, power plants will continue to expel millions of tons of carbon dioxide and toxic pollutants into our air and water. Fine particulate matter like soot, nitrogen dioxide, sulfur dioxide, resulting from the combustion process, contribute to heart disease, airway obstruction, asthma symptoms, decreased lung function, low birth weight, and premature death. We have already delayed the pursuit of clean energy resources for too long. Dominion is also forgoing the opportunity to improve efficiency so that we can do more with less, making our homes and businesses airtight so that they are more comfortable, secure, and insulated, and also reducing the need for more generation. Dominion and the State Corporation Commission of Virginia should be working together to make energy efficiency a #1 priority for our state, so that we can implement measures and technologies that will reduce unnecessary energy loss and wastefulness. Dominion has the potential to be an outstanding leader in its home state of Virginia in large-scale clean energy development. But instead, currently under CEO Tom Farrell's leadership, our largest utility company is holding Virginia back. They're taking advantage of the Renewable Energy Standard bonus without developing any large-scale wind or solar in our state. The benefits of wind and solar far outweigh the costs. Those costs continue to fall as these technologies become more and more prolific. And meanwhile, the cheapness of fossil fuels, we all know, is anything but. When you consider the costs of these sources borne by the public in treatments and medicines for respiratory illnesses, neurological damage to children, hospital visits, lost days of work and school, and environmental remediation, along with limitations on availability of edible fresh fish and scenic treasures that belong to all of us and bind us together as Virginians. Dominion's current plans for solar power fall far short and need to be significantly ramped up along with wind and efficiency so we can start transitioning Virginia away from dirty energy sources. We need Dominion to invest in large-scale renewable energy now, like wind and solar power, right here in Virginia, where our communities will benefit from cleaner air and jobs and healthier communities. Dominion should earn the renewable portfolio standard with wind and solar power that are Virginia-made. Yeah. And Virginia's broken energy law should be fixed to encourage them to do so. I want to thank you all so much for being here today. This is a bold statement that we're making to Dominion, that their customers, shareholders, and the public know that they can do more and will hold them accountable to do their part for sustainable energy for our state. Next we have Catherine Thompson, the Executive Director of Positions for Social Responsibility.
I am delighted to be here, and I'm delighted to have Virginians here calling for clean air for our health. There are many reasons to get over our fossil fuel addiction. The biggest is that burning coal is killing us. Carbon pollution is causing climate change. The EPA is being undermined and needs to be protected as the stalwart protection for our clean air. And we want homegrown energy here in Virginia to free us from the high cost of energy and the loss of energy dollars outside of our state. Burning coal shortens our life by exacerbating and causing stroke, heart attacks, lung disease, asthma attacks, and affects our children's brains due to mercury pollution. Why do we want to keep burning this stuff? It is harming not only us, but also our children. When a coal plant was closed upwind in Buffalo, life expectancy went up by 3.5 years. Even with better scrubbers on the smokestacks, coal still makes ash, and the coal ash is polluting our water. So some say, well, we'll just turn to natural gas. It's the clean fuel. But it's another fossil fuel that's not sustainable. And it's making climate change worse. Fracking The new way of getting natural gas out of the earth actually increases the amount of methane that gets released into the air. Methane is a much more powerful greenhouse gas, and if it's released at higher levels than 4%, it's worse than coal. Fracking, it's estimated, releases methane on a rate of 6 to 8%. So for climate change, it's worse than coal. Why do I care about climate change? Because of floods at high tides in Miami that are happening every full moon. Because of tornadoes here in Virginia and in DC. Heat waves that kill our elderly and our infants. Carbon pollution causes climate change. Now we have the Environmental Protection Agency that is protecting our health and our clean air. Signed by Congress and signed by President Nixon back in 1972. The highest court in the land, the Supreme Court, said that the rule that the EPA had to control carbon pollution, and they created a rule that said carbon emissions have to be limited in new power plants. Are we surprised that the industry lobbyists are pushing the House of Representatives to pass 271 bills in the last 18 months to undermine the EPA's ability to regulate for our health? Of course not. We need to tell our senators and our representatives that we want the EPA to protect our health. And we must do it by demanding a new energy future. That new energy future is not coal. It's not natural gas. It's homegrown solar. It's homegrown wind, and it's homegrown geothermal. These forms of energy do not produce carbon pollution. They use natural sources like the sun and the wind and the earth. So I'm here because I want my son and your children to live long, healthy lives, breathing clean air, not filled with carbon pollution and coal pollution. I want the citizens of Virginia not to be threatened by climate change with new infectious diseases like West Nile virus, heat waves from climate change, or high food prices due to drought. And I want the legislators of Virginia to support the EPA to protect our health, not by voting it down. I want homegrown energy here in Virginia. Clean energy produced by you and me and Dominion Power. Let's keep our energy dollars here in Virginia. Thank you.
Woo! Woo! Next we have Samantha Adu. She's a pediatrician in Northern Virginia.
Hello, I'm Samantha Adu. I'm a pediatrician practicing in Alexandria. And why would I, a pediatrician, be here today to talk about energy? Why should a pediatrician care whether Virginians get their electricity from coal, natural gas, wind, or solar? I care because the health of my patients and children in this state is intricately tied to this choice. Burning fossil fuels like coal and gas for energy is harmful to the health of our children. Children are not just little adults. They are uniquely sensitive to changes in the environment, including ambient air pollution. 80% of alveoli, the part of the lungs where air exchange occurs after birth. Developing lungs are more easily harmed by environmental air toxins, and 40% of those are produced by power plants in Virginia. Children also breathe faster than adults, meaning that their exposure to a given dose of an air pollutant is higher than for an adult. What happens when kids are exposed to pollution from power plants? Asthma exacerbations, ER visits, hospitalizations, and school absences are all directly tied to ambient air pollution. The pollution emitted from Dominion's plants caused over 4,000 asthma attacks and over 200 asthma ER visits every year. These numbers are not nameless figures. These patients are likely among the 1,200 patients my office saw last year for asthma and wheezing. Maybe one of these 4,000 patients is a 2-year-old that I admitted last month to the ICU for a severe asthma attack. Our children are suffering, and Dominion needs to take responsibility for the impact that power plants have on our children's health. Burning coal and natural gas also indirectly affects the health of our children, changing our climate. certain bugs, like mosquitoes, ticks, smaller bugs, like virus and bacteria. In 2007, the American Academy of Pediatrics warned of increases in West Nile virus, Lyme disease, and hantavirus, all of which are infections that thrive in warm weather. Their predictions have been realized. Lyme disease rates have doubled over the past 10 years, with even greater rises in northeastern states like Maine. And it is our children, ages 5 to 9 years old, who are most susceptible to Lyme. This past summer, the unprecedented heat across the country brought the most serious West Nile outbreak ever recorded, with 3,545 cases and 145 deaths so far this year. There was an unprecedented outbreak of hantavirus in Yosemite National Park. And multiple states had winter outbreaks of a severe form of hand-foot-and-mouth disease last year, an infection which was supposed to only occur in the summer. But when winter is more like summer, who knows what will happen? My office saw 280 cases of hand-foot-and-mouth disease in the first half of this year, 3 times as many cases as we saw in all of 2011. Power plants produce 40% of our nation's CO2 emissions. By reducing its reliance on fossil fuels, Dominion could significantly reduce these emissions and protect our families from other temperature-sensitive disease and other temperature-sensitive infections. The American Medical Association, American Public Health Association, American Academy of Pediatrics, American Nurses Association all have recognized that the scientific evidence is clear that global climate change can carry significant health implications. Unfortunately, there's really not much the medical community can do to decrease carbon pollution and protect our families from this risk. But there is a lot that Dominion can do. They could harness Virginia's offshore wind energy that has the potential to meet the entire energy needs of our state. They could tap the solar power that could fuel 20% of our needs. By doing this, they could decrease childhood asthma and allergies, decrease emergency room visits and missed school days, and protect our families from the uncertainties of a rapidly changing climate. We need this clean energy and we need it now. The health of our children and families depends on it.
Yeah! One more speaker, then we're going to do some chants here to get ready to yell. We're going to get across the street. So our last speaker is Diana Jockey. She works with Just Climate Action Network, the same organization that I do, and she's also a mother of 2. She's just going to talk now. Hopefully Noah can come over here with her help.
Hi everybody. My name is Diana Jockey. This is my son, Noah. I'm not here today as a climate activist or as a lawyer that works for a climate group, but I'm here today as a Virginia mom of 2 beautiful children. Noah is 4 and his little sister Emily, who's back home in Arlington, will turn 1 next week. I'm here today to speak out against Dominion's fossil fuel dependency. It's not because I'm an idealist, but because I'm a realist. My son and daughter's health and future is very real to me, as I'm sure any parent would tell you. And climate change, worsened by Dominion's fossil fuel investments, is threatening their health and their future. Every day I work on climate change, I know I'm doing my part to ensure a happy and healthy future for Noah and Emily. Yet Dominion's energy portfolio reads as if it's 1920, not 2030, and we haven't even learned about climate change. I thank my lucky stars that my children are relatively healthy and don't struggle with some of the health impacts Dr. Rizzi just discussed. However, there is a new threat that is making my job as a parent that much harder. It's the threat of climate change and the real-world impacts that climate change have on my family. I have a couple of examples to share with you in terms of that threat. Every pediatrician will tell you that staying active is key to a child's growth and development. That means playing outside. My son is a very active 4-year-old, yet now I have to worry about the increase in disease-bearing mosquitoes and ticks that carry Lyme in our state. Did you all hear, obviously, about the West Nile virus outbreak in Houston this summer? That kind of stuff worries me to death. especially when Noah comes in from outside in the summer covered in mosquito nets. This is climate change having an impact on my kids now, today, not 100 years from now. Another example is the increase in violent storms that we've all been experiencing. The July derecho storm knocked out our power in Arlington for 6 days. We are lucky that we were able to afford hotel rooms or to stay with family, but we did end up losing hundreds of dollars worth of groceries. That might not seem like a big deal to you or me, but I can't imagine for families that are struggling to feed their kids every day what they did without power for 6 days, especially with young children at home. These storms are becoming more frequent because of climate change. Those are real-world impacts on my children and my family today, not 100 years from now. I know that the only way that we can start to turn this path we're headed down is by making major investments in clean energy sources. Dominion is taking us in exactly the wrong direction. And what's worse is they're getting rewarded for it. It's outrageous that Dominion is getting $76 million bonus in the name of renewable energy, the very thing I want for my kids, when in reality, Dominion is planning for major new investments in fossil fuels and no significant investments in renewable power. Virginia families deserve better. Dominion is getting $76 million from customers like me, while parents like me worry about asthma rates and about potential West Nile virus outbreaks. Dominion is getting $76 million in the name of clean energy, while we're still waiting for Virginia's first wind farm. Dominion needs to earn its clean energy bonus by bringing Virginia real renewable energy. As a Virginian, I can't pick my energy company, but what I can do is tell Dominion to do the right thing for Virginia and urge our state lawmakers to fix the loopholes in our renewable energy laws that allow this ripoff to happen. As you can see, I'm not alone in this call, and we'll continue to picket here all week in front of Dominion's offices until we won for Noah and Emily. Thank you.
So again, it's not just folks here today who want wind and solar power for this. So again, we commissioned a poll just a few weeks ago and found that we told Virginians that this program existed.